This is literally pieces of the teeth on the differential. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another day. Terrible news. She's broken, this time for real. Yesterday, my sister came over and I hadn't taken her for a ride in this car yet, so I took her out for a spin. And obviously it was a spirited, little fun drive. Just nothing crazy, never launched it. But you know, from a rolling start, obviously hit VTEC 9,000 RPM. Second gear, I go to grab third. Clack, 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 clack. I'm like, oh snap! I don't think I broke the trans or missed shift, but all you hear is like metal clanking all of a sudden. And then, like I try to put it in 4th, 5th, 6th, no gear worked at all. Not a single gear. I'm like, whoa! If I blew the trans, there's no way I grenaded every single gear. So at that point, I'm like, man. I just wasn't thinking straight, so I'm like, dang, I probably did blow the gear. So I pull over to the side. My wife picked me up, and then you know, we was able to get the car towed to the house. So today I'm gonna be checking out what exactly is wrong with the car. So I don't think it's transmission. I already jacked up the rear end because something tells me it's the rear end, because when I turned on the car and tried to drive it, like the metal clanking sounded like it was coming from the rear end. It's the differential for sure.
It is?
Mm-hmm. You heard that little click, click. Yep. Broken disc.
There you go. How'd that happen?
So, yeah, I already lifted up the rear end and we're gonna see exactly what is going on here. So let's dive into it. Passenger side axle looks fine. But then if you look at the driver's side, not sure how that happened. This is literally pieces of the teeth on the differential. There's the inside of the pumpkin right there. Yeah, I don't know how, but it like popped out the axle on the driver's side. You can see not sure if you guys can see that, but you can see the teeth in there are just gone. And then some of the teeth here destroyed as well. It's just crazy. And I never even launched this car. I would get it sideways every now and then, you know, coming from like a turn or something, and I just give it just enough gas to get it sideways. What's going on, guys? It has been a couple of days since the last clip. I was waiting on parts. The new diff is almost bolted in. So the new diff, I got it in already. You can see here the old differential, the mounts actually cracked. This one cracked. This one's alright. The top mounts, they also there's a crack here. So yeah, I went ahead and bought some Megan Racing. Yeah. Here we go. But Megan Racing, the hard mounts, the hardened rubber. You see the part number. Part number. Here's the. I also bought some sway bar end links because mine were busted up. Some spacers, and then the actual mounts that's already in the car. I'll show you guys real quick. There's Megan Racing mounts right there, and then the ones in the front right there as well. So pretty straightforward. I just followed the engineering explained. He has a video on how he did this. There's a couple things that could have been avoided, like the way I did it. I took off these two bolts and obviously the other two bolts on the other side, and then I also took off these, which wasn't necessary because once you take these out, then the differential can drop. But yeah, everything else was pretty much straightforward. It's not that hard. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and finish up putting everything back together, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. Welcome back. It's been actually a couple weeks since the last clip you saw, and story time. So I ended up buying a AP1 differential. So when I go to put it up in the car and I go to thread in the nut or the bolt, the Allen bolt from the drive shaft to the differential, I realized that the bolt is way too small and it just does not thread into the hole because it's obviously way too small. So turns out I somehow ended up getting an AP2 differential, or somebody switched the flange from AP1 to AP2 on that differential. So right now I have no idea if I have an AP1 or AP2 differential with a flange swap, if that makes sense. So instead of me just bolting up the differential and putting everything back, I had to go ahead and hit up Facebook, message like 10 different people to see if they had parts, because Honda is just back ordered. Like the half of the world is back ordered, so you can't even get anything. So yeah, I needed to get an AP2 drive shaft, AP2 transmission flange where the drive shaft bolts up to the transmission. I needed that. Then I needed the hardware, and it was just way more money. Was not expecting it. So long story short, I have everything here. Also bought some Megan Racing hardened mounts, the rubber mounts for the differential. I also bought some axle spacers for the axles to help with the when the car is lowered. And I also bought some sway bar bushings, or not sway bar, but sway bar end links. This is the not sure if you guys can see, but yeah, it came with all the Megan stuff, and that's all in, ready to go. So as of right now, I'm actually waiting for the AP2 drive shaft, which I bought one and it came in, but I guess in shipping it got damaged. So I messaged the seller and he's nice enough to send me out a new one. Props to them. I bought it from A Solutions from eBay. They're like highly regarded as S2000 part out guys, and they're really good. Like I honestly wasn't expecting them to send me out another one. So hopefully this one they package it well and we won't have no problems there. So right now I'm just waiting for the AP2 drive shaft, and that's it. Then I can bolt everything up. And now let me show you what I'm actually doing right now. So this is the AP1 transmission output flange. I just took that off, and then that's a 36 mil. Got the O-ring first, then the little white washer, then the metal washer, and then a 36 nut. And now here is the AP2. Not much difference except the bolt hole, or the bolt hole size is a lot bigger. So in case any of you guys are doing this or plan to do this, here's the part numbers for the washer, or the O-ring washer, metal washer, and the nut. Most people don't replace it, but I mean it's cheap, and if you can find it, might as well, just for reassurance. There you go. It's for the new AP2 bolts, a lot bigger. AP2 bolts, can't really tell until you put them side by side with the AP1, but yeah. And here are the washers. These are the washers for the AP2 bolts that go in the drive shaft. The other ones are just too small, so the bolt won't fit. Alrighty guys, we're back. It's been a couple days now, and got the AP2 drive shaft in. Super huge shout out to Ace Solutions because they absolutely killed it with the customer service. I wasn't expecting them to send out another one, but they did. Awesome. I'm definitely coming back. So now that we got this in, this is the final piece to the puzzle. We have all the bolts, we have all the washers. So now let's knock it out. Alrighty, well, everything is back together except for the front sway bar end links. But everything is back together, everything is torqued, all the bolts are in. Now it's gonna be the first start in like a month. So now I'm just gonna turn it on and hope that the wheels turn and there's no noise. So that's when we know it's a job well done. So let's go ahead and get that first start. Well, there you guys have it. The S2000 is finally done, and there's no vibrations. Well, yeah, so the S2K is back. Everything is back. There's no vibrations. I do believe I have an exhaust leak down at the lower RPMs, coming down from like 5 to 4. It's like, sounds kind of bubbly. Yeah, other than that, everything is top notch. I just need to put the the end links in the front. And yeah, that's about it. But yeah, it's she's back, and hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.
Tell me what to do.